You're listening to Protecting What Matters by the Ohio Department of Commerce. Commerce is Ohio's chief regulator, and we play a vital role in keeping you safe by protecting your property, your money, and some of the products you use every day. This is designed to bring awareness to important issues and help educate consumers and businesses. Join us as we chat with trusted industry experts focused on providing you with the tools you need to help you protect what matters most in your life.
Last year, we returned $149 million to Ohioans. We spent a lot of time and energy and dare I say money, in building this new system so that we can better serve Ohioans and return this money back to them in a more efficient and effective way. And I truly believe we'll do so.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Protecting What Matters. I'm Michaela Hunt, the Chief Communications Officer for the Ohio Department of Commerce. And on this episode, we're talking about something that could put money back in your pocket. Literally. Not a scam, not a joke. The Ohio Department of Commerce Division of Unclaimed Funds has launched a new system that will make finding and claiming your lost money so much simpler and faster than ever before. Whether you're an individual looking for forgotten funds or a business managing unclaimed property, the process will be much easier. Joining me today are two experts who cannot wait to share more about this exciting development. First, we have Akil Hardy, Superintendent of the Division of Unclaimed Funds, and then Susie Wagner, the Outreach Manager for the Division of Unclaimed Funds, who's been working to spread the word and help Ohioans connect with what's rightfully yours. We will talk about how this system will benefit not just individuals, but businesses across the state. Welcome, Akil and Susie. You've been a little busy lately, haven't you?
Yeah, thank you for having us, by the way.
Appreciate you being here.
Yes.
So the Division of Unclaimed Funds has this new system. So let's just start at the beginning. Why did you need a new system? Why did we get a new system?
Great question. So honestly, when you're dealing with people's money, they give you feedback, and they give you feedback often. But that's a good thing, and it was our responsibility to listen to our stakeholders and our claimants and businesses that report funds to us, and we took their feedback, and what we gained from that was that we need new technology. So that's what brought us to this, to rehauling our system and bringing something new to the public.
Live in 2025, rather back in the early 2000s? When was the last time we had a system upgrade of any sort?
It was about 2002.
Oh, wow.
So it's been a while.
It has been a while.
Yes.
We need to do things at the speed of business.
Exactly.
So, Susie, how efficient is this new system? And really, how does it help staff and ultimately those receiving their money and property back with turnaround time?
It's really a self-service system that allows people to find their money, search their name quickly, and claim it within just a few minutes directly on our website. And then if the holders or business owners who are filing their unclaimed funds reports can also file those reports directly on our website, which is something that wasn't available before this. And so all of that is just the external piece that people are seeing, but there's a lot of internal things that are happening as well, like automated emails that the claimants are getting updates regularly, so there's not as much of a gray area and them waiting or wondering what's going on. And they can also always use our website as well to search and find that information themselves. So it's very self-service and automated tool. It's been really great to see it implemented.
So, Akil, thinking back to when I've searched for unclaimed funds before working here at the Department of Commerce or working somewhere else, I was able to see that I had something, but the filing was a little bit harder. Talk about the efficiency and the differences you've seen from the time you started working here until now.
Yeah, I think what's great about this system is everything is directed towards uploading your documentation right there on the site. So there's nothing that you have to do externally. You can do everything right there on our new website. And I think that's a big boost to the efficiency around this whole process, right? So you search for your funds, you find your funds right there on the site. It doesn't take you to a different site, which often confused people and led them to call us and ask, hey, is this real? Is this really the Division of Unclaimed Funds? And is this a scam? But no, on our site, it's you can do everything there. And once you do get your claim form, you upload your documentation there. It will let you know, as Susie mentioned earlier, the status and where you're at in the process of claiming your funds, so that there's a lot more transparency. And then on the reporting side of things, previously, some businesses had to purchase software to actually file their claims. They don't have to do that. You can go to our website, upload your report, submit the payment, or you can build your report right there on the site. You don't have to download documents and mail in documents. You don't have to buy software. It can all be done right there on the site.
So when you think about this, what are you looking forward most to about this new system for users?
I would say, can I give you two things actually?
Sure.
So, because there are two sides of our house when it comes to the division of unclaimed funds. It's definitely the reporting and the compliance piece, and obviously the obviously most important piece is returning the funds back to the claimants. But I would say the thing that I'm most excited about is the automated emails that gives people the information that they want to know about their claim without them having to seek it out. That is awesome. And, from a selfish perspective, it cuts down on phone calls that we have to answer. And then the other thing that I'm really excited about is the fact that businesses can they can build their report right on the website, and they don't have to purchase anything, and they don't have to contract with a vendor to create the report. They can build it right there if they don't have the software to create a what we call a NAPA file to upload.
Out in the field, Susie, from an outreach perspective, what do you think this answers for users? What do you think this new realm does?
Yeah, probably the biggest thing is that I hear most is that, they think that this is a scam, especially when they find out that there's money available for you. And by having the system on a .gov URL location, I think that should give some more peace of mind to letting the visitors know that they're on a safe site for them to use. And I think that will go a long way. And having those less clicks. In the past, we've sent them to another website, which is missingmoney.com.
Yeah, with the .com on
And
the
that-
URL, yeah.
And that website still exists and still will function. And we still encourage people to go there if they want to look for multi-state claims. So if you've lived in multiple states, that's still a great resource. However, for those Ohioans who've lived here their whole lives, they can just go to our unclaimedfunds.ohio.gov and find everything they need right there.
So, Akil, I want to drill just a little more down on turnaround time, because we're a society that doesn't like to wait, and sometimes it takes time for things to happen. What does the difference in turnaround time look like between our old system and our new system?
Yeah, that's the question that everyone's wondering, right? So, from a claim standpoint, right now, or I should say, previous to the implementation of our new system, getting a claim process was around 90 to 100 days. With the new system, some subsets of claims will get turned around in a day.
Wow.
Yes. And from a reporting standpoint, there will be an impact there as well. So with businesses who report their unclaimed funds, they often saw a pretty similar turnaround time, around 100 days, maybe even 120 days. I would anticipate that they'll see a turnaround time in a day, maybe 2 days.
Now I'm going to ask the next natural question. How much money did we give back to people last year?
Yeah. So last year we returned $149 million to Ohioans.
149 million.
Yes.
How do you think that system can improve, our new one, can improve upon that number? If you could look into the future, what is your estimate? What is your thought there?
Yeah, I mean...
No promises.
Of course, no promises. And then I would dare not give you a number. But I do hope that we see a significant increase in claims that are returned, or funds returned to claimants. And that's the goal here, right? We spend a lot of time and energy and dare I say money in building this new system so that we can better serve Ohioans and return this money back to them in a more efficient and effective way. And I truly believe we'll do so.
Thanks, guys. Up next, we're going to talk about how this new system simplifies the process, what tools are still in place to help you, like the one that Susie just mentioned, and the key benefits for every user. For those of you claiming money, to those of you who work with businesses that might be holding money and property. Stick around. We're going to break it all down for you.
Think homeownership is right for you but don't know where to start? The Ohio Housing Finance Agency is here to help. OFA's affordable mortgage rates, down payment assistance, and homebuyer education are designed to prepare you for your journey to homeownership. To learn more about OFA's homebuyer programs and to find out if you qualify, visit myohiohome.org. Homeownership, make it a part of your future.
Are you looking to buy or sell a property in Ohio? Make sure to enlist the help of a trusted Ohio realtor. With a dedicated team of experienced professionals, we are here to guide you through every step of the process. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer or an experienced investor, we have the expertise to help you find the perfect property for your real estate needs. Ohio Realtors adhere to strict ethical standards, ensuring that your interests are protected and your transactions are handled professionally. Contact us today at ohiorealtors.org and let us help make your move a smooth one. Ohio Realtors will get you there.
Welcome back to Protecting What Matters. We're talking about the new Division of Unclaimed Funds system. We just talked about why it was needed, and now we're going to dig a little deeper. We have Akil Hardy and Susie Wagner with us. You know, for folks who haven't been exposed to what we do exactly through the division, we talk a lot about claimants. So those people who are listening might not know what a claimant is if they've never been one. What is it?
I would define a claimant as anyone who potentially has unclaimed funds. So they search and find their name associated with an address where they may have lived or been associated with in the past. That is a claimant.
And these claimants, what will they be able to do now that they couldn't do before?
Well, similar to before, they can go to the system and search for their unclaimed funds, right? And generate a claim form. And unlike before, when they get the email with their claim form, it will direct them to our new portal that will allow them to upload documentation and check for the status of their claim, which they could do that before as well, but I think that we have a little bit more robust information on the status of their claim when they go to search for that status. Again, one of the things about this new system is that when you actually go to search for your unclaimed funds, it doesn't redirect you to a different website. You can do it all right there. That way you feel a little bit more comfortable that you're actually claiming from the Division of Unclaimed Funds.
And holders, you know, we also talk about holders quite a bit. What is a holder?
So a holder is another word for a business that actually has unclaimed funds to report to our division. So in other words, they're holding unclaimed funds that is reportable to us.
And for holders, this new system also benefits them. So talk a little bit more about the benefits for them.
Sure. I'm really excited about this piece of it. So the quote unquote holders, they still have to report their unclaimed funds, and the deadline for that for non-life insurance companies is November 1st, and for life insurance companies it's May 1st. But when they go to report their unclaimed funds, they have obviously the option of uploading a NAPA file format, and they can do that on our new system, our new site, which they couldn't do before. Before they would have to either send in a paper documentation, or they could go to Ohio Business Gateway, which they still can today. That's still a viable option. But they can do it right on our website where they can find information about how to report. They can even find how-tos and videos on how to report as well. And if they don't have the ability to submit a NAPA file format, they can build it right on the website. So they can build the report and submit it with payment on our new website.
So you're using this acronym NAPA and saying file format. What is NAPA file format? What does that mean? What does it stand for?
Great. So, and good question. So our division is part of an association. It's the National Association of Unclaimed Property Administrators. And truly all states are a part of this association. And the association provides a lot of resources and support and some shared knowledge about what we do, which is so very unique. There's only 50 other me's, right? And so they provide guidance on how a report should look like so that every business, regardless of what state they operate within, can provide the same type of report, same format of report to each state.
But if I file in Ohio, I can't get my money from another state because I'm filling it out in the same file format. Do I have to go to every state to get my money?
So you should report to every state that you operate within, right? Now, the good thing is that some businesses make mistakes. And so if you report your funds that belong, let's say, to Michigan or the state up north, that's fine. We do actually have a reciprocal process where we can send those funds back to the state of Michigan.
And you were talking about holders, and I started to ask that question like a claimant. But I do have that question about claimants. Do claimants have to go to each state? Still, let's say I've lived in Illinois, and I've lived in Illinois, Missouri, Ohio. Do I still need to go to each state to find out if I have unclaimed funds there, or does the system solve that as well?
So the system doesn't solve that. You do have to go to each state to claim your unclaimed funds. But the good thing is the website that I mentioned earlier, missingmoney.com, you can actually select the state of which you want to search and state that you want to search in. So you don't have to go to a...
Or even leave it open.
Oh, yeah, leave it open. So you don't have to go to a completely different website to do your search. You can still do it there.
Okay.
And can I add to what Akil said about the holders and reporting? What's really neat about the system is that if they don't have that report, what he was speaking to is there's actually a form. So if you've ever filled out a form before online, this is exactly the way our system will work. You are filling out lines in a form for each account owner, each person that you have unclaimed funds for, and their contact information. If you already do have the NAPA formatted file, you also have the ability to just upload that to the form. So you have options, and then there's also a third option. Many people are not even aware that they have to file for a negative report. So even if you have nothing to report, in the state of Ohio, we require everyone to report to us those negative reports.
$0.
And so we have the same form that's available for them to fill out, and it's literally a checkbox. I have nothing to report, and fill out your contact information and submit, and that's that. It takes 2 minutes. So that's super exciting.
How many businesses are holders? Is every business a holder?
Yeah.
Does every business have to report?
Yes, every business in the state of Ohio.
Yeah, so every business in the state of Ohio that basically transacts with a customer,
Yeah.
and even if they don't, honestly, can be a holder, because we also take transactions, what we call transactions, that is simply a check to an employer, or to an employee rather.
Yeah.
So if that an employee leaves the company and you're unable to return their last check to them, that gets reported to the Division of Unclaimed Funds.
I want to follow up on that thought after the break. This is Protecting What Matters.
It's your money, come and claim it. The Ohio Department of Commerce Division of Unclaimed Funds is safeguarding nearly $4 billion in unclaimed funds. So there's a good chance you or someone you know has money waiting to be claimed. Just head over to our website, unclaimedfunds.ohio.gov, to search for your name, the name of a family member, or a loved one to see if you have an unclaimed fund.
Well, Akil and Susie stuck around to the end of the episode with us, so we're grateful for that. For this entire new technology that we're working with, I want to talk about security and privacy, but I want to ask a follow-up question first. We were talking about how every business in Ohio technically is a holder, correct? Did I hear that right?
Yes.
Okay, so how does that work with outreach? Because Susie, that is a lot of businesses.
It's a lot of businesses, and a lot of them still don't know that this is a law. And so as administrators of the law, it is my job to help make everyone aware. And there's a few things that we're doing here with the Division of Unclaimed Funds is we have 13 events specifically coming up here in April and May. And there's in-person events and a lot of webinars. We're holding public webinars that anyone can come to. We have several organized webinars that are with private audiences or members only, like the Columbus Bar Association, the Ohio State Bar Association specifically. And so we are trying to do everything we can to get the word out. We also have some upcoming live demos of the new system, in which we will be showcasing it on the Ohio Department of Commerce Facebook page. So that's exciting. And we have some how-to videos that we've created that'll be published soon for everyone to see and use, has a reference point. And then for those who prefer paper, we also have guides and lots of resources, printed materials that will walk them through things.
Because some people are paper people, some people are digital people.
That's right.
And I think what you're hearing from Susie is something that we have really made a priority. So, being a division under the Ohio Department of Commerce, we still have regulatory responsibilities, and it's been our approach to to do this through education. So it's truly compliance and regulation through education, as opposed to compulsion or bringing down the big stick of penalties and fines, right? So
You'd rather do it with a carrot.
exactly.
And the new system is a carrot, I will say, from taking a look at it. We do hear this feedback a lot when it comes to claimants. Why is it important to supply Social Security numbers and verification documents? Some people get really nervous about providing it. But I like how you're talking about we're regulators, right? And compliance is important to us. This data, these numbers are important to us. Can you guys talk to why it is important for us to have that as part of our process still?
Yeah, sure. So I think what people don't realize is that when a business reports their funds to the Division of Unclaimed Funds and they send payment, they are providing all types of data. So names, birth dates, account numbers, even check numbers. And so primarily we need to know that we're paying the right person. And that's how we use primarily the ID as well as the Social Security card. But we also use that information to pair up with the data that's been provided from those businesses so that we know not only do we have the right person, but we're paying the right person the correct transaction or the correct funds. So,
when people visit this new URL, how do we ensure security and privacy for claimants and holders? How do they know that their information is going to be private?
The new system works the same as the old system did in that way. We are still keeping data confidential and being stringent on the fact that we're not sharing or promoting the information anywhere. But what's more important about the new system is that there's a feature called Fraud Index that will really alert us to anyone who may be saying they're someone and in reality they're not actually that person, or something about what they're reporting to us is incorrect information. So we're spotting those frauds out there maybe quicker than we were before, and we're able to then maintain that the money is going to those rightful owners.
People love to run a scam, even for a system like an unclaimed fund system, because they know what's behind the wall, if you will. What resources, you kind of have hit on this, but what resources are available to help people navigate the new system? Where do they go?
They can go to unclaimedfunds.ohio.gov. They can also go to com.ohio.gov and look for Unclaimed Funds. Both will have a plethora of resources, including videos and guides and more. And they can always go call us. There's people who need to talk through things and they have questions and they're like, I don't know. We get calls every day, so we encourage that as well as email.
So I know you have these outreach efforts that you've been talking about. If people want to plug in and attend to the ones that are public facing, where do they go?
So they can follow us on our Ohio Department of Commerce Facebook page, and they can also email us.
Great. Well, thanks so much to both of you for joining us, and thanks to those of you who tuned in. If you have future podcast episode ideas, please send them to communications@com.ohio.gov. Again, that's communications@com.ohio.gov. And we invite you to follow us on Facebook, as Susie mentioned, Instagram, X, and YouTube. We're so glad you can join us on Protecting What Matters, and we will have another episode coming your direction soon.